What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive.
Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video. So we're not out competing for this video. I'm actually in one of my favourite places to be. It's out with the ponies in the field. It is 7:30. Evenings are already beginning to draw in, but this has to be one of my sort of favourite sort of times of the day. The ponies have just been turned out and they're quite happily being horses. So I think it's really sort of important for them. They've got their individual paddocks because unfortunately both Top Cat, who hasn't actually featured in any videos for quite some time, so here he is, and you, yeah, you're feeling a bit left out, aren't you? So Top Cat and Bo are quite strong characters, so they are separated, although they do sometimes have a bit of a chat over the fence and a bit of an argument occasionally. So yes, yeah, it'd be nice if they could all go out together. Buck, obviously being young, he's very, very playful. So he gets on Bo's nerves after a while, and Bo can get, a little bit nasty. So that is why they're in their separate paddocks. But they stay out all night, and they're always quite sort of happy. So yes, like I say, this is my sort of favourite time of the day, really. It's the end of the day. The road that's behind is beginning to quieten down a bit as well. So it can be quite sort of peaceful. Here's Bo. Right, Bo, we've got some very exciting, very important news to tell, haven't we? Yeah. So myself and Bo have some really exciting news, although Bo is currently walking off because I've let him have a little bit more of, a bit more grass basically. So that's where he's headed. But yes, very exciting. We have been selected to ride for the South and West region at the Home Nations. Now, we were selected back in 2022. We did go, but sadly things all fell apart at the trot up, where Bo got very, very upset and his fight and flight response truly kicked in. And unfortunately, because flight wasn't an option, he chose fight and started kicking out and caught my arm. So I ended up in A&E that night with a broken arm. So sadly that put pay to our sort of Home Nations competition for us, but I did go and continue supporting the rest of the team. So the Home Nations is obviously a British dressage run event, but it is an unaffiliated competition. Oh, you've come to say hello, have you? Yeah, you've come to say hello. They've got grass down there. So yes, it is an unaffiliated competition. It's run over 3 days. Well, it's 2 days of competing, but on the Friday there is a sort of ceremony, sort of opening ceremony. We will dress the stables up with a particular theme. So yes, I'm very, very excited to do it. I'm riding at Elementary. So I'll do Elementary 5 on the first day and then Elementary 6 on the second day, and that's part of a team. So there'll be another team member doing prelim, one doing novice, myself doing elementary, and then I think there's one doing medium and one doing either advanced medium or PSG. So it's really exciting to be part of a team. It's not something I've ever actually, well, although I've been selected and went, I haven't actually competed as part of a team before. I did feel like last time I let the team down a bit, but sadly, even despite my best efforts to try and fight through the pain, shall we say, because first off I thought I just bruised it, but no, it turns out, yes, I did break it. Yes. This time, there is no trot up, so I'm hoping that we can put our sort of past issues behind us and do our team justice. But I'm really sort of looking forward to that. But after that, something even more exciting. So just after the Home Nations, we are off to the National Championships. We have a wild card for the elementary silver, which I was shocked about. I was really pleased with our test. Obviously, there's always things that can improve, and I'm my own worst critic. I really am. I've got some bad habits that I'm always trying to sort of correct. Sometimes in the test, they can show up a bit more nerves, probably partly due to that. But yeah, I was totally shocked to receive a wild card to go to the National Championships. That is an achievement that I didn't think we would actually achieve. So yeah, very, very excited. We've done the Winter Championships back in 22, and also we went in 23. We were top 10 in the prelim, and obviously the novice music in 22. And I think sometimes I don't always show quite the sort of emotional response. Sometimes I don't even quite sink in how well we've done. Bo is definitely my once in a lifetime horse. He's been an actually fantastic partner. He's not easy. He definitely likes to do things his own way, and he does certainly make me work. But I think we do work well as a partnership. And when it comes to like the big competitions, yeah, he certainly pulls his little white socks up and performs. So I'm really excited to take him up there. The fact that he is pure Welsh Section D. Yes, there's going to be a lot of posh horses up there. But I certainly feel like I will be taking the best one and bringing the best one home. So it's a long way to go. We've got to go to Somerford Park. We'll travel up the day before our competition, and then the plan is, obviously depending on how Bo settles, I don't know what the stabling is going to be like. He's not always a fan of temporary stables, but we'll see how he is when we get there. I'm really hoping we'll be in permanent, but who knows. I'm hoping he's grown up a little bit, and will tolerate a temporary stable. We'll see. He's not a fan normally, but yes. So if he's happy, we'll probably stay on for a few days. I don't know if we'll have access to the farm ride they have there, which I've seen other people's videos. I think Harlow has ridden around there a few times, and it always looks quite good fun. So I don't know if we'll have access to that, but yeah, that would be great if we did, because I think he'd quite enjoy that. So yes, a lot going on with Bo. I was sort of saying like last video that we're really going to sort of give Bo a bit of time off now and concentrate on Buck, but that's obviously all sort of changed. So he's doing a little bit more varied sort of work at the moment, hacking. He's done a bit of jumping today to try and sort of sweeten him up a little bit, because he does sometimes get to this sort of time of the year and just gets a bit fed up with all the dressage. And yeah, we've been working obviously a lot on suppleness and getting him in front of the leg and things. And yeah, so just this sort of week we've really sort of throttled back a little bit on that. So obviously we are still doing a little bit of work, but yeah, just giving a bit of variation. But he's quite happy at the moment, just munching on his new strip of grass, which is a very, very long grass. We're very lucky to have some. But yes, you're happy? Yeah, you're a clever boy, aren't you? But this video was supposed to be originally all a bit of an update on Buck, but kind of Bo's sort of stolen all the limelight at the moment, bless him. So, I can't actually see Buck at the moment. He's supposed to be in there. Oh, there he is. He's right down the end. You can see him in his white rug. Yes, it's all go. I had to order some of the team clothing for the home nations, and that should hopefully be here soon. And get sort of organised, because we're not going to have much turnaround time between the two competitions. I've made sure we've got haylage I'm picking up this week to start Bo on before the competition, rather than having to soak hay. I think it'd just be a lot easier, and also I can fit it in the underfloor. The lorry is actually currently having its MOT done. Keeping fingers crossed that all goes okay. I haven't heard anything, and it's also having a service because we're going to be taking it on quite a long trek. Right, he's not quite sure about being videoed out in the field. You all right, Buck? Yeah. The long-awaited update on little baby Buck here, who is not quite so little as he once was. I'm really sort of pleased with how he's sort of maturing. He's a little bit fat at the moment, which isn't ideal. Unfortunately, when we go away, he does tend to have to stay out in the field, and unlike a lot of people, I still got some grass. But I shouldn't complain, because I know that everybody's struggling at the moment with how dry it's been. But yeah, I don't really need it, unfortunately. But Buck is very happy with it. Bless him. So, Buck, what have you been up to? So basically, a bit of an update on Buck. Obviously, he was bought back in January. He was at that point 3.5, turning 4 this year. Obviously, he's now 4. So when we went to see him, he was quite little, and I was a bit like, he's a bit small, really. He's not quite what I was sort of thinking of. I was hoping perhaps for something that was about 5 years old, a bit bigger. Done a little bit, but not very much, or just backed. But yeah, I went to see him, and I just really liked his attitude, really. He's just quite sweet. He's cute, which is not the ideal reason for buying a pony, and you should never buy the first one you go to see, although I have done that quite a few times. But yeah, I think definitely very, very pleased with him. He was backed, and he had apparently already been ridden that day, and he then went back up to be ridden. He wasn't overly happy about it, but he just got on with it, and I really did sort of quite like his attitude. So obviously, when we got back home with him, the decision was made to sort of go back to basics, really. Let him settle in first, and then we really sort of took him back to basics and started again. Mainly because I do things different to everybody else. We've all got our own ways of doing things. I don't say any ways wrong, but I thought it's important that we were both on the same page. So we started off with doing some lunge work, and then we did some long reining, and he was long reined out along the lane, and he just took it all in his stride. So I was already sort of like, he's quite nice, because originally we sort of bought him as a bit of a project, because like I say, it wasn't exactly what I was sort of looking for, although I wasn't really looking. It was only just sort of looking to see what it was about, because we sort of were talking about a second one now that Bo's quite established at the level he is. But we didn't think we would obviously have the finances to put to anything too flashy, and I don't want a warm blood. I like the Welsh cobs, and I really do feel that they do a very nice dressage test. So project, although that has definitely gone out the window now. He's turned out to be a real sort of little diamond in the rough. He is such a little sweetheart. He has grown. I'm hoping he'll grow a little bit more. But yeah, he's just really sweet. Even if we go away for a few days, he'll stay out here. Top Cat's in his paddock as well, as babysitter, chief babysitter. Although I think he'd rather come with us. Buck's good as gold. So yeah, he's quite easy in that respect. And also, even if he's been out for a few days, I can get him in, and the next day I can sort of tack him up and ride him. And he is really takes it all in stride. He very rarely objects to anything. He is just quite easy at the moment. Hoping that will continue. I really do. But yeah, I'm just so pleased with him, and I feel like he's really sort of come on from like when I first started. Obviously he's learning and he's getting his balance, and we're sort of beginning to sort of gel as a bit of a partnership now as well. But I think he really has improved. So I'm going to obviously put some video up of this. Is sort of like when we were quite early on in just started doing some ridden work with him. He's a little bit wobbly, bless him. But yeah, he doesn't object. He does what is asked of him, and yeah, that has definitely continued. And now this is some more recent footage. As you can see, he definitely has grown. I'm not feeling quite so big on him. Obviously, I would still like to get a bit fitter myself, and he's definitely filled out a bit, although he might be a little bit fat. So he's really come on sort of leaps and bounds, and he's learning all the time, and he's learning and he's remembering, which is great. So his balance is getting better all the time. He is now currently using Bo's dressage saddle. He's got a saddle check this week. But yeah, very, very pleased with him. But obviously interesting to see what other people think on his progress. He's currently sort of doing sort of every other day at the moment. Just quite short, sweet sessions. He has a limited attention spell, and we haven't really sort of pushed him through that. We want him to enjoy his work, which he certainly does seem to. And now we are just sort of looking into doing some canter work with him, but he's going to have his saddle check this week, and also he is going to have his teeth checked, which I think is quite important to do, particularly now we're asking him to do a little bit more, not too much. Like I say, he's still very young in his early days, and I want him to enjoy in his work, and he goes out along the lane hacking as well. So we're trying to keep him a little bit varied. He's got front shoes on, although he's not the best at keeping them on at the moment. He has managed to stand on them. So he's got overreach boots on, and he does seem to keep those on. That's one thing, although they've got some holes in them, but I'm not sure that's from him tugging at them or standing on them. He needs some slightly smaller ones, because to be fair, I think those are Bo's. Bo's definitely got more bone than little Buck, and got bigger feet. Yes, I think he knows he's sort of kind of landed on his feet, and he quite likes being spoiled. And he's finally sort of grown into this rug as well, which is a 6 foot. So he's definitely grown. I'm hoping he'll sort of fill out a little bit more. Need his shoulders to sort of fill out. The saddle at the moment wants to kind of go up his neck a bit, but I think if we had some shoulder there, that would stop that. But yeah, very much looking forward to hopefully taking him for some training sessions at the end of September, October, hopefully before the weather gets too bad. Obviously it'll be quite sort of light sort of sessions, but I think it's quite important that he goes to different venues and just sort of gets used to that. So not really sort of working him hard or anything, more just sort of getting him out and about, seeing a bit of the world. Obviously he won't start competing until next year, and I don't know what point next year either. So yeah, it's a shame that he's unfortunately going to have to ride it prelim gold, which is the same level that like all the pros and the elite riders can ride at. So even the likes of Carl Hester could ride at prelim gold. Although I don't know that he does actually bring any out at prelim gold, but there's a lot of the top and the elite will be in that gold section, which is it seems a little bit unfair when I got my little Welsh cob, but unfortunately it's because Bo has been so successful. He really has, and I don't think sometimes I 100% appreciate how well we've done. I'm my own worst critic, and I'm always kind of looking at how I can improve. So sometimes it makes me sort of come across as a bit sort of negative, and sort of downplaying our success. But yeah, it's not really. And it wasn't until sort of getting this wild card to go to the national championships, which I think was the first time we qualified, are harder to qualify for the summer championships, and it is a really big, it's going to be the biggest atmosphere he's ever ridden at, so I'm really hoping that he won't get upset. We've got to sort of help each other really, deal with the nerves, because I think we both suffer with them. That's sort of big sort of competition. But yeah, I was so pleased with him. I really am. I can't quite believe it really. And it's really sort of hit home quite how much success we've had, and the fact that unfortunately it's going to put poor Buck into the gold section. If Bo does well, I think if he gets over 65% at the championships, I think Buck will then have to be in novice gold. So, yeah, it is a bit like, what we're going to do with regards to Buck and his sort of British dressage. But we're kind of thinking that depending on obviously how he progresses, that he'll do the young pony classes next year. Because obviously he'll be in the pony section, not the horse section. So, yeah, I thought that might be something to do. I've never done it before. So next year he'll be in the 5-year-old section, so not quite sure what will be expected of us at that point, but we can certainly have a look into that. He can do the associated championships, and there's the midway championships that we perhaps aim him at, and then quite lucky there's a couple of venues a bit more local to us that run like dressage festivals as well, so we can sort of aim at those sort of things for sort of stayaways, because we enjoy a stayaway, but unfortunately he won't be able to do pet plans at prelim or novice, and yeah, it's not, I don't know that it's worth taking him to regionals, because obviously he'd be in the gold section, but it might be for experience. It's not all about it's all about the competing, but it's not all about sort of winning and doing well, sometimes it's quite nice, particularly for the youngsters, to gain experience at bigger atmospheres. So that is perhaps an advantage of taking him possibly to summer regionals. But that's all dependent on obviously getting out and doing some competitions. And we're a long way off that at the moment. A long way off. But it's nice to have some things to sort of to aim for, and I'm really enjoying sort of process with him. He's a different character to Beau. He's a lot more forward thinking than Beau. Beau's economical, I'm going to say, not lazy. He's economical. But Buck is a lot more forward thinking. Goes everywhere with a bit more pace. So slightly different. But it's nice to have the two different. Well, I suppose all horses have different characters. So yeah. So that's what sort of Buck's been up to. It's not anything really sort of exciting. We're only just started looking at canter. I had my first sort of attempt with it today, and he is extremely green, and it's taken a lot of getting used to, because obviously I'm used to Beau, who is obviously a lot more established. So yeah, it's very different, particularly as I'd ridden Beau first, then to sort of get on Buck, and everything's a bit more sort of wobbly. Bless him. But I was so pleased with him. Yeah, so we had our first canter. It's obviously a lot to work on, but I'm really pleased. At the moment, it's just sort of making sure that he's sort of happy, and he's certainly going forward, which is really, really important. But the balance, that will all improve. He's definitely very much a blank canvas, bless him. But it is quite nice to know that obviously he hasn't been sort of messed around with. So I can do things my own sort of way. Whether that's the right way or not, I don't know. But yeah, I can't blame anybody else for how he turns out. But I'm really, really pleased with him. I'm enjoying riding him. Right, definitely the evening's drawing in. I better go in because I'm going to be late for tea otherwise. But yeah, I like being out here this time of night. It's quite sort of peaceful, although you can still hear the road. But you can hear that all the time. It's never quiet. But it's quite nice just to be out with the ponies, where they can enjoy themselves. Luckily the electric fence isn't on yet. That's one of the jobs I've got to do. I'll switch that part on. Yeah, I had to put an extra line of fence up to stop Buck and Beau playing over the top, because they grab each other's rug and break the Velcro straps off if I'm not careful. Or fly masks. Fly masks like to be removed, but they're not wearing those tonight, and they don't seem to be too bothered. So I was going to say night to Beau, although he probably will not be interested. Yeah, Beau? Yeah. You're a clever boy, aren't you? Just saying how clever you are. Oh, you're not at all interested, are you? Nope. He don't care. He just wants to eat his grass. But yeah, so lots coming up. I hopefully get lots of video. Yeah, that's what is it. I think it might be just a couple of weeks, and then we got the Home Nations. So we've got quite a lot going on this week. Bo's basically going to have like a full MOT. He's having his saddle checked, have his teeth checked, and he's got physio. So yeah, hopefully we'll have him in the best form and ready for these two competitions. It's such a shame they're so close to each other, because it was a bit like I didn't really want to turn down the fact that I've been selected for the Home Nations, because it feels like quite a privilege to be able to do it, and then to go to the national championships. But make sure that Bo is happy. That's the main thing. So yeah, we haven't got any competitions before then. Probably just as well actually. But there is a warm-up competition before the Home Nations that I might actually do, because I think Chard probably have their flags for the Home Nations, and I think it might benefit us to actually have a bit of a practice with those. And Top Cat is quite happily grazing. I think he would like to come. I'm sure he would like to come with us. But he's got very, very important duties to do. Hey, Top Cat! Do you see? You alright? Yeah? I'm eating. You see, I'm quite happy. There. Yes. So, yeah, like I say, quite a lot going on. Obviously, I'll do a bit more of an update next week on our sort of preparation for the two competitions. I'll probably sort of go through what we actually take with us when we go to sort of stay away competitions, and particularly like championships. Because hopefully the lorry will be back. That's my job first thing this week, is to give them a call, see how that's going. So do need that, definitely. We're a bit stuffed otherwise. But yeah, very much looking forward to it, and I still can't quite believe it, really, because both announcements were made on the same day. So I'd just seen that I've been selected for the Home Nations, and then I saw the wildcard list was out, and I always look. I didn't think anything of it. I thought I'll just have a look through and see who's got a wildcard. And well done to everybody that has either got a wildcard or qualified directly. It really is an amazing achievement. Just to qualify, it really is. But when I was reading down through the list, I got to the elementary silver, and I was reading on down through. I said, "Oh, they were at Bicton. They've done well." And then right at the bottom was my name and Bo's, and yeah, I had to sort of look again. I couldn't quite believe it. And I was straight onto the phone to my husband, sort of saying, "We've got a wild card. We've got a wild card." And yeah, I don't think he could believe it either. But yeah, I've always wanted to go to the national championships at Somerford, and yeah, this is our opportunity. So yeah, bless him. What a little superstar. I did not think that test was going to be one to get us there, but yeah, I'm just so pleased with him. Really am. And I do this because I love doing it. And I think Bo does as well. He puts up with me most of the time. So yeah, very much looking forward to it. I'm just going to go and enjoy it. Just to get there, it just to qualify. It's just it's quite hard to believe, really. I still can't quite believe it. But yeah, definitely gonna go and have some fun. make the most of it, definitely, and really sort of really appreciate it, because like I say, sometimes I don't think I've always appreciated, that was fast, how much success we've had, actually, when we sort of look back over what we've done with Bo. It's just, yeah, it is incredible. Bless him, he's one very, very special Welsh cob. Yeah, definitely very lucky to have him, and very excited about the young Welsh cob we've got as well, because like I say, although he's a very, very different character, yeah, I think there's some potential there. I definitely feel it, and I'm enjoying the journey with him, and I think that is the important thing, and it's not to lose sight of that. I think sometimes I can lose sight. It's very easy to get wrapped up in the competing. I love competing, even though I get really, really nervous. I do enjoy competing, but I also enjoy just spending time with all three of them, really. Like I say, this is probably one of my favourite times of the day, is evenings once they're out in the field, just watching them happily graze, and just being horses. They are quite happy, which is all I can want, really, is to make sure they're happy. They don't really want for anything. Like I say, they definitely do much better than we do. Yeah, the house is probably in the right mess, but they're stables. I try and keep them pristine. So, yeah, very, very spoilt boys they are. But I think they appreciate it. Or I hope they do. I'm not sure with Bo sometimes, but I think he does in his own way. He just doesn't always like a lot of fuss. So do try and respect his personal space a little bit, because he is such a clever boy. Right, I better head on in. It is beginning to get a little bit dark. Well, like I say, the evenings are definitely drawing in, definitely noticed that. But it's still lovely and warm. Yeah, they're happy. Now I can go in and have my tea and have a sit down. And really still trying to get my head around everything that's sort of happening. It's going to be a bit of a whirlwind of a time, I think, now. But I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to get stressed at some point as well. But I've made myself lots of lists of what I need to be sort of doing on each day, and making sure I've got everything organised. Like I say, I'm going to get the haylage in this week, bedding. Just make sure I've prepared, so hopefully we don't have any sort of last minute panics, or rushing around, because that's often what happens. I do need to make sure all the saddlecloths I need are washed, and that I've got enough, actually. That's the point. I need to check the white ones, because I normally just use the two, and I might need a spare, but I'll have a look into that. Right, I will see you guys again next week, when we'll be in full preparation mode. Not panic mode, preparation. Which probably will result in panic. But I'll see you then. Bye.